This is the King's Cross Lighthouse building. Why is there a lighthouse in King's Cross? The history of the building is a little obscure. It was probably put up as a promotional device for an oyster bar in the late 1870s. More importantly for us though, this was the site of the original King's Cross, a monument to George IV, which was erected in 1830, widely mocked by the public, and demolished in 1845. But it was the existence of a statue on this spot that gave the place its name. The area today is dominated by three stations: King's Cross itself, St Pancras, and a little further down the road, Euston. In the early 19th century, however, none of these existed. Back then, even the nearby villages of Camden Town and Somers Town had just recently been founded. Other than that, the area was mostly open fields, with London itself stopping at the edge of what is now the Euston Road. And in amongst those fields, on the site of what is now King's Cross, was a small settlement called Battlebridge, located on the banks of the River Fleet. If we walk through King's Cross Station today, in one corner you have a part of the Harry Potter tourist industry, endlessly pulling in the crowds. But only about 50 metres away, and entirely ignored by commuters, is the site of an equally momentous legend, the myth that somewhere underneath platform 10 is the grave of Queen of the Britons, Boudicca, and one of the explanations behind the name Battlebridge is that it commemorates Boudicca fighting her last battle here. It was with the Industrial Revolution that this landscape all changed, and with the need to transport goods between the capital and the big industrial cities of the north. The landscape today is dominated by the relics of this history, both in the buildings and the names of places, but the purposes for which these buildings and the area in general are used today are very different from their 19th century origins. The area is now home to the tech industry and is full of boutique shops and bars. The first changes in the area came with the building of the Regent's Canal in 1820. Then, in the middle of the 19th century, the railway stations were built, King's Cross in 1852 and St Pancras in 1868. And along with these came the warehouses and other associated buildings, as well as a swelling population as workers began moving into the area. While King's Cross and Euston might be relatively modern, St Pancras, on the other hand, has been part of the landscape for centuries. It's thought that there's been a place of worship here since the early 4th century. The present church has been on this site since the 11th or 12th centuries, although the building was rebuilt in the mid-19th century, at much the same time as the rest of the area was being transformed.